Hello and welcome. Adita Lang here, and in today's strength class, well, we are going to work on posture. Standing tall and proud. That's today's theme. I hope you do like that. So with that said, you want a nice cleared out area, nothing to get into your way, a mat close by, a light set of dumbbells, and some water. You'll take breaks when you need to and work at a pace that's comfortable to you. First things first, let's simply warm up. Shifting your weight from one leg to the other. It's a step touch, basically. But if you lift your leg up, you add a little bit of a balance component, which now engages more muscles. So now you can drop your toe back down to a step touch, and then shift your weight again. And as we're moving, I want you to think shoulders are back and down. This lifts your chest up. Now your ribs open, so I want you to close them just a little bit, engaging the abdominals. Now step touch again. Taking the arm, one arm at a time, into a big circle. Big circle. So even though I'm circling my arm around, my shoulders are still back and down, and I am really focusing on keeping my shoulder back and down even though my arm extends forward. Now, same thing, come up, lift the leg up high, or not too high because we're still warming up, but lifting the leg to the side. Inhale and exhale, engaging the rib cage. Back to a step touch, circle forward, and drop the arms, shift the weight from one side to the other. Inhale and exhale. Back to a regular step touch. Add your arm. And leg to the side, arm up. We have 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come to center. Both legs are separated. Left arm comes up as you push the left hip down, stretching and lengthening the side, and pull down and up. Pull. So again, arm is going up, but I want you to think shoulder. Keep the shoulder held down. And as you pull the elbow down, feel your lats or upper back contract and pull. 3, 2, and 1. Now turn to the right, roll through the back foot. Up, open the arms to the side, out and in. 3, 2, and 1. Hold here, deep breath. Exhale. Turning the body to the front, toes come up, bending the right knee and hinging from the hips. Chest is tall, tailbone back. Deep breath. Exhale. One more time, big deep breath. Exhale. Now coming back to standing with the feet apart, right arm stretches up, right hip down, and pull down, up and down. You have 4, 3, 2, and 1. Turn to the left, roll through the foot, up, down, reach the arms up. One more time. Hold the heel down and stretch forward. Deep breath. Exhale. Now turn to the front, toes up, sitting down with the left leg, tailbone back, chest forward. Inhale and exhale. Hold and center. Bring the feet in, just move them around a little bit, taking both arms straight out. Now small bend in the knees, think shoulders. They move back and forward. We call this shoulder retraction. Pull back, and as you move your arms back, I want you to feel the shoulder blades connect. It's as if you're trying to hold a pen with your shoulder blades and then release. Now, this movement comes from the shoulders as opposed to opening the arms. So the arms stay straight ahead, the elbows are more or less straight, and the only thing that moves is the shoulder blades. You have 4 and 3, now 2 and 1. Release. Let's go down to the floor. This is a great time to grab some water. You'll have your light weights close by and setting the mat down. First things first, extending both legs out, chest up nice and tall, and exhale and hinge forward and hold, feeling the lengthening in the hamstrings. Pull your toes towards you, keep your chest up, inhale, exhale, One more time. And exhale. Now crossing the left leg over, simply hinge and lift the knee and rotate. And hinge. And rotate. One more time. Release the leg the other side. Cross in a figure four. Hinge. Now lift your knee and rotate to the right. Hinge. And rotate. One more. And release. So bring yourself over into a tricep push-up position. So your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. You're engaging your rib cage and your core. Now, the same thing we did standing with our retraction, we're gonna do here with a little bit of our own body weight. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and release. Squeeze together and release. Now, the goal is a nice straight line from the tip of the head to the knees. So you want to think about where your center is without sagging down or sagging up. We're keeping ourselves in the center, which gives us neutral spine. You'll feel the ribs embraced inward. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sit back. Now simply bring the legs around. Knees are soft, but they're bent. I want your heels deep into the floor though. Sitting up nice and tall. Now if you feel like you're tucked under and you can't sit up from this position, you can roll up your mat or a towel and sit up on something just a couple of inches off the ground. It'll help sit up taller. Now from there, the only movement we have going on is from the hip joint. That's called your hinge. So as we move, watch me first. Arms at genie. I'm going to hinge back. When I move back, I squeeze my ribs inward. Then I give them a good tight squeeze as I bring myself back up to center. Come back and lift. Now it's going to feel like your feet should fly off the floor. I need you to keep your heels in the mat. Think about pulling in tighter from the center, almost like a corset. Chest is tall, shoulder blades stay back and down. You have 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. We have one more set of retraction. Bring your body back to the tricep push-up position. Angling your body so it feels as if all of your body weight is in your hands. Now pull up from your center, from the ribs, and squeeze the shoulder blades and release. Squeeze and release. Always keeping the rib cage engaged as you move, yet still being able to breathe as you're moving. So inhale on one part of the movement and exhale on the other. 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Move yourself around again. Feet in front. Set yourself up with postural success. So if you need to roll something underneath your hips, do so now. Hands in genie. Hinge back and up. So remember, as you're moving, that's when you're squeezing your rib cage inward more. Yet you're still breathing as you go. Inhale one way, exhale the other. We have 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent job. Taking yourself over onto the floor. Both feet are hip distance. Shoulder blades are back, hands on the mat, and we're pulling up into a bridge. So from this position, there's more or less a straight line from the knee all the way to the shoulders. And your shoulders are pushed back towards the mat. Now, simply focusing on the left side, holding everything, lift the foot and lower. Lift and lower. Your goal is not to allow the right hip to fall. Brace the center. Keep them engaged. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The other side, up and down. So same thing, this time focusing on keeping the left up, pulling in from the rib cage. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now hips down. Keeping the feet right where they're at, hands go behind the head, and simply lift your head up about an inch off the ground. I call this the hover. And from the hover, you're holding the weight of your head. So now take your attention to your ribs. Squeeze them tight and then release. And squeeze and release. So the lift of the upper body is not coming from the upper body, it's coming from the contraction in the rib cage. Inhale one way, exhale the other. 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back down to the mat, hands down, shoulders back. Pull your hips up, starting with the left leg, up and down. Keeping this nice straight line, engaging the right glutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the foot, balance your weight, and now lift the right leg. Inhale and exhale, feeling the ribs contracting in the center. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both feet down and lower. Hands behind the head, lifting up into the hover, feeling the weight of your head, and now squeeze the rib cage closed and open. Inhale and exhale. Using your breathing as your rhythm of movement. We have 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both knees to the chest. Crossing one foot over in a figure 4, reach inside and pull both knees in. And now allow that foot to come to the floor, switch legs, crossing the other foot on the knee, and reach inside the thigh and pull the legs towards you. Deep breath, and exhale. And release. Turning back to the side, and coming back on all fours. So this is one of my favorite exercises, actually. We have muscles that run on both sides of the spine, and we want them to be strong together as a team, and sometimes they're not, but this is a great way of figuring out if they are or not. And if they're not, this is a great way of strengthening them too. So first things first, left leg back, right arm forward. Both hips remain parallel to the floor. Now at the same time, I want you to try to be as steady as possible, so you can either stay here without moving, or you can lift an inch up and an inch down. Whatever you can do with the most control and balance. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knee. Take the hand. I should have had this weight on this side, but you need to grab the weight and bring it over to the right side. Take the elbow into the side. Now balance your weight on all 3 points and reach the arm forward and back. As the weight feels heavier, this is when I need you to engage your rib cage more. Inhale and exhale, reaching the arm up and overhead. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the weight. Come back to center. This time, right leg back, left arm forward. Find your center. Either stay here or lift an inch and lower an inch, keeping yourself as steady as possible. Contracting from the rib cage, focusing on your breath as you move, and head stays looking down so that the alignment stays there with your neutral spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, and one. Lower the knee, reach for your dumbbell, elbow in, and now reach overhead and down. Overhead, pulling the elbow right next to the body so it stays very tight. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, separate the knees, sit back. Deep breath here and exhale. Lifting right back up to all fours. We have another set. Left arm forward. Oh no, the other side. Right arm forward, left leg back. Are you ready? Find your center, pull in from the center, and lift and lower. Inhale and exhale. Keeping the body as steady as possible. You don't have to be on the same beat of music with me. I want you to move at a rate that you feel you have full control. 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knee, reach for your dumbbell, elbow in real close to the body, and now extend overhead. Inhale one way, exhale the other. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set the weight down. Other side, right leg back, left arm forward, and lift. Keeping the body centered and steady. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knee, take hold of the weight, and reach overhead. Pull the elbow by the body. Racing from the center. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set the weight down. Move those up a little bit. Taking your body back to the side and rolling on your back. Now this time, actually let's move the weights a little more. Taking both arms out to the side. Shoulder blades are into the mat. That's probably the most important part. Knees come up, small bend in the knee. Now, we're going to move the legs to the right, but I need you to focus on the left shoulder. The minute you cannot hold the shoulder on the floor, which is right here for me, you stop, squeeze the rib cage, and bring the legs back to center. And do the same thing to the other side. So keeping the right shoulder on the floor, and then lift the legs. So if you'll notice, my legs don't go all the way down to the floor, and that's really not the goal. The goal is to engage the center as much as possible so the abdominals get the benefit. Inhale one way, exhale the other. And every time your knees move, that's when you want to engage your center and your rib cage the most. And only you have the ability to challenge yourself, and the challenge is going to come by you trying to push your shoulder down into the floor more, just to allow your legs to go just a tiny bit further to the side without lifting the shoulder. So truly focusing on the movement. One more on each side. And back to the center, knees into the chest. So taking the right leg down, left leg up. Small bend of the knee. I want you to work on lateral. So we're moving laterally. So here's the plan. You can watch me first. Left leg will move out. The hips stay parallel. So when I can't hold my right hip anymore, I then use my inner thighs to pull the leg back to center. And I'm moving slow. I want you to do the same. So both hips stay parallel to the floor, no matter what, and lift. Now, unconsciously, it might feel better if you push your knee to the side. I want you to try to keep your knee centered. So the right leg always stays in the center and the left leg is the one moving, yet using the hip bones as your indicator for your range of motion. Pull in from the ribs. We have 4 and 3. Keep weight in your right foot. 2 more. And 1. Setting the foot to the floor with the other leg. Hips are parallel, pulling in from the ribs, small bend in the knee, and open and close. So notice the knee's never going to change. All the movement comes from the hips, and keeping both hips parallel to the floor and keeping the left knee in one spot without moving out to the side. Brace from the center. Inhale and exhale. You have 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both knees into the chest. Once again, arms out, knees are bent, slowly allowing the legs to move left as you keep the right shoulder down, and then squeezing from the rib cage as you move to the other side. The bend in the knee doesn't change. If you wanted the work to be a little harder, you could straighten your legs out a little bit more, but always keeping the knees over the hips. Squeeze the rib cage, shoulders stay against the floor no matter what. We have 5 and 4. Here's 3 and 2. 1 more both ways. And then back to center. Setting the right leg down, left leg up, small bend in the knee, and move out to the side and back in. I like to put my hands on my hip bones, so I make sure I keep those hips parallel to the floor, and at the same time I keep glancing at my knee to make sure that knee doesn't move around. Deep breath and exhale. We have 4 and 3. Now 2 and 1. Set the foot down. The other leg comes up, small bend in the knee, out and in. Keeping the left leg stable, keeping the hip bones parallel. Bracing from the center. And using your breathing, inhale one way, exhale the other. Four and 3. Now 2 and 1. Both knees to the chest. And slowly turning to the side, coming back up to seated. And simply extend the legs out one more time. Deep breath and exhale, hinge forward, pulling your toes towards you. Oh, I think the sweat's coming down. And lift up. Now reaching for our dumbbells. And you can sit any way you want. So your legs could be out, one leg could be out, crossed, whatever you feel comfortable with, as long as you're maintaining neutral spine. Now elbows into the side, one arm at a time. So as you extend your arm out, I want you to think shoulder. It stays down and back no matter what. Inhale one way, exhale the other. And as the weight feels heavier, that's when we actually brace our center, the rib cage, a little bit more. Now we have 5 more to each side. This is 1, chest tall, and 2, 3, 4, last one, and 5. Lowering the arms down. Taking one arm across the chest, keeping the shoulders parallel to me, but still pushing the shoulder down as you cross the arm over. Now, same arm goes up, behind the back, and stretch back. And release. Other side, arm across the chest and hold. Now reach the arm up, behind the back, and pull the elbow back to feel the stretch in the tricep. And release. Weights in hand, chest up, last set. One at a time, holding the shoulders down and back. Pulling in from the rib cage and breathing as you move. Inhale and exhale. Using your breath. Full inhale, full exhale. We have 5 more on each side. Shoulders stay down. That was 4. And here is 3. 2, last one. Excellent, we made it. Weights go down. Now, cross one foot over in a figure 4, deep breath here, pull the toes towards you, and exhale. Once again, hinging from the hip, so the chest stays uplifted and you keep neutral spine as you're hinging forward. Deep breath. And exhale. One more time. Exhale and hold. Now lift the knee up and turn and hold. Shoulders are back and down. And keeping the legs in the figure 4, lower the knee. Take your forearm towards your ankle. Hinge forward, reach the left arm up and pull back. Chest is up tall, tailbone is pushing back. Inhale, exhale, and release. Other side. Deep breath and exhale and hinge. Again, inhale, exhale, and lift the knee up and turn. Chest tall, shoulders back and down. So staying with your figure 4, lower the forearm, hinge forward, arm comes up and back. So pressing the chest forward, pressing the tailbone back as you are stretching the arm back. And release. So once again, taking the legs in any position you want. But simply bring your body into a side stretch. So as I'm extending my left arm up, I'm pushing my left hip intentionally down to create the lengthening on the side of the body. Now inhale, come up, and exhale, give yourself a twist. And let's do this one more time. Deep breath, up and over. And inhale and twist. And release, other side. Right arm comes up, right hip down. Hold there. Deep breath and exhale, twist. And inhale, back to the side stretch. Push the hip down and come back in and reach. And release. Shoulders up, back and around. Move the shoulders all the way forward, all the way up, all the way back, and all the way down. Big giant circle. The bigger the circle, the more of a massage you get. I'm just saying. Roll up, back and around. One more. Hold the shoulders down, interlace the fingers, stretch the hands towards me, and release. And again, stretch. Release, one more time. Now arms come up, and slowly allow them to float down, slow. Maybe even slower. Okay, a little slower. You'll feel all the tingling going on in your arms from everything we've done. One more time. Come forward, stretch. Arms go up. Now this time slower. Allow them to float. If you move slow enough, you'll probably feel the air in the room, and you'll feel all the tingling to the hands. There you go, a little slower. It's got to feel boring for it to be truly slow enough. And release. Thank you so much for joining me in today's class. Go out there, make sure you drink plenty of water.